I spy with my little eye. What is that? I'll tell you what that is. That is a redfoot tortoise laying eggs.
The party just beginning and it's all for you and me. You work so hard for what you want is where you want to be. You've had your fun and now you're done, so everyone goes home. So what are you doing? There's nothing to do. Well, is where we go.
Bug you too much. So in all of our enclosures, whether it's the tortoises or anything else, we're always raking everything up, raking the yards, but we compost all the leaves and dead vegetation. More often than not, the tortoises will nest or lay eggs right in those piles. Not surprising. The compost, as it starts to decompose, it gives off a bit of heat, so it retains the heat in there, so works out really well as an incubator. We will leave her alone and we'll come back later. Oh, here she comes. This is the Burmese mountain tortoise. This species is super cool. They are like an all-terrain vehicle tortoise. Hi, what you doing? Very primitive looking tortoise species. Are you gonna eat my phone? You gonna eat it? Oh, you looking at my finger? That's my finger. Hi. Hi. They're a very curious species. Hi, sweetie pie. I know. That's my fingers, though. Very archaic design. There's two different species of mountain tortoise. You have the Burmese brown and the Burmese black. This is the brown. They don't get quite as big as the Burmese black, but not far off either. They get pretty big. They get this big crazy dome. As she gets bigger, this shell will dome up quite a bit, and she'll look like almost kind of like a miniature Galapagos tortoise. Not quite, but close enough. We're attracting some more attention from your boyfriend. Here he comes. Come on over, buddy. I love this species though. They're really cool. Look at these crazy looking back feet. Look at that thing. There's these big spurs back here. Lots of tortoises have the thigh spurs. But I mean, look at these things. They are massive. Oh, I'm sorry. Was I tickling your foot? Look how they walk. They kind of walk kind of high. Not quite as high as like a Galapagos tortoise, but it's a very lumbering, robotic type of movement. Where are you going? Do 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 do. The Burmese mountain tortoise is an endangered species. They're found in Southeast Asia. You coming back to say hello? Are you? Come on back. What's going on? But this guy's gonna have a little bit of pumpkin. Yeah, you are. And these two are nowhere near full grown yet. They are mature though, so we do get breeding out of them and a nest every year. I'll show you her nest in a minute. But this is one of the only turtle or tortoise species in the world. Both the Burmese black and brown mountain tortoises will make a nest. They'll actually build a big mound nest just like an alligator and lay the eggs in it, and the females will actually protect it a little bit to some degree. Once the eggs hatch, though, you know, she pretty much abandons the kids. But what are you gonna do? Oh, you're coming over to eat my knuckles, are you? You gonna try and eat my knuckles? No, that's not food. That's not food. That's not food. It's not food. Why do my fingers look tasty? You just want to chomp on me a little bit? You want to chomp on me a little bit? There you go, climbing. So we're walking over to the mountain tortoise nest now. It like kind of lines all the way up against this rock to the tree, all the way around here, and all the way around. Take a step back. That's a pretty big area. Anyway, about 4 to 5 foot diameter nest, about 2 feet high. Big compost pile, so let's dig in here a little bit. There's no eggs in it right now, but you can kind of see where all this stuff is. You know, it's not just like an alligator or crocodile. She's going to scrape up everything around there, and she'll work on that nest for a good month, sometimes maybe longer, just scraping up everything around it, building it up, and then finally lay some eggs in there, and then keep building it up after the eggs are already laid, and then she'll stand guard for a little while too. We're back to collect the eggs now. I did another video recently with crocodile nest. It's really weird and out of season. As far as the redfoot and yellowfoot tortoises go, it wouldn't be out of the ordinary. Our redfoots, at least, pretty much lay all year round almost. They're just smaller clutches of eggs. So by the end of the year, it's not quite as many eggs as a crocodile or an alligator is gonna lay. So what we're gonna do is uncover the eggs, and we'll put them in this small little box. There's some substrate in there so the eggs don't roll. And then we will transfer those to the incubator. So here we go. Yep, right about where she was at. There's the first egg right there. Little golf ball or ping pong ball sized eggs. And there's another one right there. You can see it. There you go. So if I had to bet, I'm going to guess 4. I'm going to guess that she laid 4 eggs. Oop, there's another one right there. So a nice little clump of them. Generally, at least with our redfoots, we'll see about 4 to 6 eggs per clutch. So there's 4 right there. So, oh, that's a big one. Okay, so far it's 5. So I see number 5 right there. So there's 4 back there, right there. And then right underneath this, there's 1 more there. So that's 5. So, oh, wait, shoot, we got another one, 6. Now, if it's any more than 6, and we'll compare the egg size too, it is possible that another female snuck in here and laid eggs in here also. So it could be multiple clutches on top of each other. So before we go any further with this, I'm gonna get that open, and we will transfer the eggs into the box. We cannot roll these eggs. A lot of the time, we'll take a marker or something, make a little X or a number on top of the egg, and be very careful not to roll it or rotate it, because that can drown the developing embryo inside. So I'm very careful. It's not a bad practice to mark them. You know, you do a little X here or a number, but as long as you are very, very careful and you pick it up exactly how it's laid, don't rotate it, and then place it right in the box the same way. That's why we have a little dirt in there so they won't roll. Then you don't have to mark them. as long as you have a real steady hand about it. Okay, so we got, it's looking like that's gonna be, so we got 2 in there already. Here's number 3. Okay, we'll put that in the box. 4, 5, and so here we got 6. The other thing too is be careful where you're grabbing the eggs from. If you have pet tortoises at home and they lay eggs, don't always, it's like playing Jenga. If you grab them like right in the middle or off the bottom, the rest of them can collapse and roll. So generally just start grabbing from the top. Be very careful and gentle with them, and then transfer them into the container. Sometimes we'll transfer them directly into the container that we'd be putting straight into the incubator. That way you don't have to keep moving them back and forth to different boxes. Now that was a little risky pulling that last egg because it was right underneath this one. So this one could very well have just rolled right out, but there was a lot of soil around it, so I wasn't too worried, and I picked that one up weird. So if I go to place it in now, I'm almost in a position where I have to turn it. So I'm gonna stick it right back in there, grab it from the side. So the top part is still up where it needs to be. Okay, so there we got 6 eggs. I'm gonna move these out of the way real quick because I wanna dig some more. So we're gonna check around. Oh shoot, there's number 7 right there. So that's a good, okay, so we got number 7 right there. Before we start digging, I'm gonna get that one out. Be careful that there's none up in here in this loose leaf litter compost area because I don't want them to collapse. There we go. So there's number 7. Now 7 is not an unusual amount of eggs. It's a good turnout, but believe it or not, they can lay quite a few more in a clutch. I think the biggest clutch I've ever seen from a female redfoot was somewhere around 10. I've heard people say that upwards of 15, but I've never seen that personally. I was wrong. I lost that bet. I thought for sure it was going to be 4. Let's cover this back up. We'll get the same time where it's turning the compost pile. That'll help create more soil. And the tortoises like to nest in this anyway. They like to dig holes in there and lay some eggs. So here you go. Good looking batch of 7 eggs. Good bunch of eggs. We will candlelight these later after we get them into the incubator to verify that they're fertilized. Sometimes they're not fertilized, but and when I say candle lighting, for anybody that's not familiar, I'm not taking an actual candle. You just take a flashlight, tiny little flashlight, put it on one side of the egg, it'll light it up, and then you can see things that are developing inside. So I think we have another video up, pretty short one of me doing that with some tortoise eggs from years ago. But anyway, so that's like that's a good batch right there. I'm happy with that. So we shall see what happens from there. There you go. What are you doing? I wasn't talking about the buzzards, I was talking about these guys. What are you doing? What is that? They don't care who's around. They just don't care. No shame. No shame.